All right, there we are. We're back in the right place. Let me just get these done real quick. Is that you can hear it, Pickle? Yeah, he's quite loud. He is quite loud. All right, back under the right account. Sorry about that. That was, as I mentioned, Facebook changed their like broadcast interface, and the new one, while it looks a lot better, all right, there is the link for tomorrow's Player's Choice voting. While the interface looks really cool, but for whatever reason, anytime I try to use the new setup, it shuts off my external camera, which is a much better camera, and it goes into my, it wants to use the built-in camera on my laptop, which is a garbage camera, and I can't figure out how to get it to let me use the good camera, so I switch back to the old broadcast interface because that works. So when I, whatever, it's not a big deal. We're in the right place right now. It seems we got everybody in here. The link for the tomorrow night's Player's Choice category is posted and pinned to the top of the comments. Your categories to choose from for tomorrow night are beer, presidential history, or sports movies. And we're just going to go jumping right into tonight's game. We are going to play pub style trivia, the same format I use on Tuesday nights in Firewater Saloon in Edison Park and Wednesday nights at the Firewater on the south side in lovely Mount Greenwood. So we're going to play 5 total categories. The only difference is I've cut the rounds in half for time constraints, and there will be no visual presentations that we're used to seeing at the live shows. But other than that, we will do the same format here. We're going to have start off with a picture round, and then we're going to have 3 specific categories, and we will end with the general trivia round at the end of the night. I post a score sheet with the categories every morning, so you can print out that score sheet and use that score sheet to follow along, or you can use any piece of scratch paper is fine. Just make sure that you have enough room for 30 questions total and group your answers by round. Each round is made up of 5 questions worth 1 point and a bonus question worth 2 points. Those bonus questions are usually a little bit harder. That's why they're worth 2 points. I will read you the questions for each round, then repeat the entire round, and then give you a few seconds to finalize your answers. Then I'll come back and read the correct answers to you. You're going to score your own score sheets, so please do not put any answers in the comment section. You're going to be scoring your own score sheets. So we're working on the honor system here. Don't think we've had any cheaters yet, so let's keep that going. And you can also are allowed to double your score for one of your rounds. I just ask in the spirit of the game that you pick which round you want to double before I read the answers. So say round number 3, you think you got all 6 questions right. Before I get to the answers, that's when you circle your round. You circle your whole group of answers for that round, and then double your score after I give you the correct answers. Please don't wait to the end of the night and then just double the points for the round you did the best on. When we play the game live, you turn in your score sheets after each round, and that's when you circle your double score option before you hear the answers. So I'd like that we keep that part of the game. So, and then at the end of the night, at the end of the 5th round, you are going to take a picture of your completed score sheet with your final score on it and send it to me via Facebook Messenger. And then I will double check all your work, tabulate all the scores, and announce tonight's winner. Let me just answer this one quick question, and then we'll get into tonight's game. All right. Some people were having trouble finding me. I just want to make sure that they're think because I had it on the wrong account. Some people were wondering where the heck I am. I am here, and we are ready to roll. All right, so before we get into tonight's categories, if you guys are feeling inclined to send a tip, here's the information. You can use either PayPal or Venmo. Both of my main sources of income have been wiped out thanks to all this. So any little bit of tips sent this way are greatly appreciated. It is not required to play. Another way you can help out is by heading over to thehockeywriters.com and clicking on my articles. I write in over there. The more clicks I get, the more money they send me at the end of the month. So that is an easy way to help me out as well. I had two things posted today, my daily history post, and I did a draft prospect profile as well. And we have over 80 writers writing for us on the website. It's a really good group. There's a lot of great content over there. Read mine first and then go on to everybody else's. But there's plenty of stuff that is still being written about despite there actually being no hockey. So let's move on to tonight's game. Our categories for this evening will be famous logos in the picture round. I will show you 5 rather famous logos. You just got to tell me what they belong to. Then we have a round called Born in Chicago, all about celebrities who were, strangely enough, born in Chicago. Round 3 is our Player's Choice round, and hairbands was our winner last night. So get your Aquanet hairspray and your spandex out. We will be talking about some 80s hard rock music. Our 4th round is a round I came up with last night. I call it Pop Culture Math. Um, we'll explain a little bit when we get to it. Basically, it's taking the numbers from various things you know from pop culture and making word problems out of them, and you have to figure out the correct answers. And then we'll end the night with general trivia. And that after that is when you will send me pictures of your score sheet. So we'll get started with our picture round, famous logos. I'm going to show you pictures of five logos. I'm going to show you pictures of 5 logos. Just tell me which company these belong to, and we'll start with logo number 1 under round 1. What company is that logo for? Write it down on your score sheet. That is logo number 1. Write it down on question 1 under round 1 on your score sheets. We'll move on to logo number 2. Nope, that's the wrong way. That was Stella, not a logo. There we go. There's logo number 2. What is this logo for? That is logo number 2 in our first round. Logo number 3. What does this belong to? This is a harder round to put together than one would think, just because it's kind of hard to find pictures of logos that don't include the company's name. It's a bit of a challenge. It's not too difficult, but it's annoying. There's logo number 4. Just got to sift through a lot of pictures before you find the right one that doesn't include the name of the company. And here is logo number 5. And our bonus question for the famous logo rounds for 2 points: which British brewery used a red triangle as the world's first trademarked logo? What British brewery used a red triangle as the world's first trademarked logo? All right. Let's go through the picture clues again real quick in case you missed one. That is logo number 1. There is logo number 2. That's number 3. There's logo number 4. And logo number 5. And the bonus question one more time for 2 points: which British brewery used a red triangle as the world's first trademarked logo? Give you a couple seconds here to finalize your answers before I read the correct ones to you. All right. Through these, our answers for round number 1. Famous logos was the category. Logo number 1, that is for Bluetooth. Logo number 2, if you get up early on the weekends to watch soccer, you've seen that. That is the Premier League logo. The Premier League. Question number 3, logo number 3, that of course is Snapchat's logo. Snapchat. Number 4, that is the logo you find on a can of Pringles. Pringles potato chips. And logo number 5, that is the logo for Subaru. That is the Subaru logo. And our bonus question for 2 points: which British brewery used a red triangle as the world's first trademarked logo? That is Bass. Bass Brewery. Bass Ale is the bonus question answer. So once again, those answers for round number 1 are Bluetooth, Premier League, Snapchat, Pringles, Subaru, and Bass. So we'll move along to round number 2. Born in Chicago is the category. We're asking you questions about famous people who were born in Chicago, as the category's title alludes to. Question number 1 under round 2 on your score sheets. Born in Chicago in 1968, this actress gained fame by playing Agent Scully on Fox's The X-Files. Born in Chicago in 1968, this actress gained fame by playing Agent Scully on Fox's The X-Files. Question number 2. Born in Chicago in 1947, this late singer-songwriter hit it big singing about British mythical creatures. Born in Chicago in 1947, this late singer-songwriter hit it big by singing about British mythical creatures. Question number 3. Born in Chicago in 1951, this comedian became a household name playing an alien from the planet Orc. Born in Chicago in 1951, this comedian became a household name playing an alien from the planet Orc. Question number 4. Born in Chicago in 1942, this author hit the big time when his book about a prehistoric amusement park was made into one of the highest grossing movies ever. Born in Chicago in 1942, this author hit the big time when his book about a prehistoric amusement park was made into one of the highest grossing movies ever. Question number 5 for round number 2. Born in Chicago in 1961, this NBA Hall of Famer starred at St. Joseph's High School before becoming a bad boy. Born in Chicago in 1961, this NBA Hall of Famer starred at St. Joseph's High School before becoming a bad boy. Bonus question for Born in Chicago for 2 points. Name the 2 main cast members from the 1996 movie Fargo who were born in Chicago. For 2 points, name the 2 cast members from the 1996 movie Fargo who were born in Chicago. I'll read these questions again, just in case you need any repeated. This was round number 2, Born in Chicago. Question number 1. Born in Chicago in 1968, this actress gained fame playing Agent Scully on Fox's The X-Files. Born in Chicago in 1947, This late singer-songwriter hit it big singing about British mythical creatures? That's question number 2. Question number 3. Born in Chicago in 1951, this comedian became a household name playing an alien from the planet Orc. Question number 4. Born in Chicago in 1942, this author hit the big time when his book about a prehistoric amusement park was made into one of the highest grossing movies ever. Question number 5. Born in Chicago in 1961, this NBA Hall of Famer starred at St. Joseph's High School before becoming a bad boy. And the bonus question for 2 points. Name the two cast members, the two main cast members from the 1996 movie Fargo that were born in Chicago. Name the two main cast members from the 1996 movie Fargo who were born in Chicago. Give you a couple seconds here to put your final answers together on your score sheet. If you think you did real well and you want to double your score for this round, this is when you circle your group of answers. Please don't wait till after I read the answers for whichever round you want to double. So let's go through our answers real quick from round number 2, born in Chicago. Question number 1, born in Chicago in 1968. This actress gained fame playing Agent Scully on Fox's The X-Files. That is Gillian Anderson. Gillian Anderson. Question 2, born in Chicago in 1947, this late singer-songwriter hit it big by singing about British mythical creatures. Talking about the Werewolves of London. Warren Zevon is number 2. Born in Chicago in 1951, this comedian became a household name playing an alien from the planet Orc. Mork from Orc. Robin Williams is answer number 3. Number 4, born in Chicago in 1942, this author hit the big time when his book about a prehistoric amusement park became one of the highest grossing movies of all time. That is Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton. Pickle's giving me dirty looks from across the room, so he must not be a Michael Crichton fan. Born in Chicago in 1961, this NBA Hall of Famer starred at St. Joseph's High School before becoming a bad boy. That is Isaiah Thomas. And for 2 points, the bonus question, name the two main cast members from the 1996 movie Fargo that were born in Chicago. I'm looking for William H. Macy and Frances McDormand. So if you got both of those down, give yourself 2 points. If you only got one, you can go ahead and give yourself 1 point for that question. So once again, the answers for Born in Chicago, round number 2, are Gillian Anderson, Warren Zevon, Robin Williams, Michael Crichton, Isaiah Thomas, and the bonus question was William H. Macy and Frances McDormand. So that wraps up round number 2. 3 more to go. Round 3 is our Player's Choice category. And last night you guys voted for hairbands. Well, not all of you guys, but the majority of you guys voted for hairbands, and that's how that works around here. So it is thrown into tonight's game. You can find the link that I pinned to the top of the comments and vote for tomorrow night's Player's Choice category. Your choices for tomorrow are beer, presidential history, or sports movies. So go and click on that link and vote for the category you would like to play tomorrow night. I will leave that poll open for a few minutes after tonight's game and then see who the winner is and throw it in to tomorrow's game. So let's play tonight's Player's Choice category, hair bands. Questions about everybody's favorite spandex wearing, gender line blurring bands of the 1980s and early 90s. Question number 1. Bon Jovi named their 1988 album after the state they grew up in. What state is that? Question number 1. Bon Jovi named their 1988 album after the state they grew up in. What state is that? Question number 2. Which 1988 hit song by Motley Crue is about bass player Nikki Sixx's revival from a heroin overdose? Which 1989 hit song by Motley Crue is about bass player Nikki Sixx's revival from a heroin overdose? And if you haven't watched the Motley Crue movie, I think it's called Dirt on Netflix yet, please do. It's screw the Tiger King. This stuff is better because yeah, it's not great as far as acting goes, but just the ridiculous stories it's entertaining and it's got good music in it. So yeah, check out that movie. Dirt, I believe it's called. The Motley Crue movie on Netflix. It's only like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's a no-brainer. Worth your time, because that's all we've got right now. Question number 3. Comedy legend Milton Berle appeared in the Round and Round music video for which hairband who his nephew was the manager of at the time? Comedy legend Milton Berle appeared in the Round and Round music video for which hairband whose nephew was the band's manager at the time? Talk about calling in a favor from an uncle. That's a pretty big one. Who was the band that had a hit song with Round and Round? Question number 4. Twin blonde-haired brothers Matthew and Gunnar formed which band that was just their family's famous last name? Twin blonde-haired brothers Matthew and Gunnar formed which band that was simply just their family's famous last name? Question number 5. What hairband gave us the hit songs Down Boys, Heaven, and Cherry Pie? What hairband gave us the hit songs Down Boys, Heaven, and Cherry Pie? And the bonus question for round 3. Back to Motley Crue. Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, and Tommy Lee are the well-known members of Motley Crue, but for 2 points, what is the name of their longtime lead guitarist? Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, and Tommy Lee are the well-known members of Motley Crue, but for 2 points, who is their longtime lead guitarist? Yeah, that Cherry Pie video for like, I don't know, I was probably 11 or 12 when that came out. Yeah, that did some things back then. What year did that come out? 1990. So I was 11 years old, and that's wasn't quite sure what I was looking at, but I liked it a lot. All right, let's repeat our hairband questions real quick. Question number 1. Bon Jovi named their 1988 album after the state they grew up in. What state is that? Question number 2. Which 1989 hit song by Motley Crue is about bass player Nikki Sixx's revival from a heroin overdose? Question 3. Comedy legend Milton Berle appeared in the Round and Round music video for which hair band who his nephew was the manager of at the time? Question 4. Twin blonde-haired brothers Matthew and Gunnar formed which band that was just their famous family's last name? Question 5. What hair band gave us the hit songs Down Boys, Heaven, and Cherry Pie? And the bonus question, Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, and Tommy Lee are the well-known members of Motley Crue, but for 2 points, what is the name of their longtime lead guitarist? Those are your questions for the hairband round. I'll give you a few seconds here to get your answers finalized before I give you the correct answers. All right, let's go through our hairband answers and move on to our next round. Question 1, Bon Jovi named their 1989 album after the state they grew up in. That is New Jersey. New Jersey. I'm a big fan of hairbands, apparently Lisa is. All right. If I wouldn't get muted, I would totally do music snippet rounds where I would play like 10 seconds of a song and you guys would have to guess it, but the Facebook police would be all over that and they would mute this video in a heartbeat. If I could get away with that, I totally would do like a name that tune category and just play like the opening 10 seconds of famous songs and you guys would have to guess it, but Facebook ruins the fun for everybody. Question number 2. What 1989 hit song by Motley Crue is about bass player Nikki Sixx's revival from a heroin overdose? That is Kick Start My Heart, which I always find a little bit funny that they still play that as the Chicago Wolves take the ice for all their games. It's like, yay, Wolves, yay, heroin. Question number 3. Comedy legend Milton Berle appeared in the Round and Round music video for which hair band who his nephew was the manager of at the time? That is everybody's favorite band from the 80s, Rat. Rat. It's a good video. It's a good song, too. Twin brothers Matthew and Gunnar formed which band that was just their family's famous last name? That is Nelson. Nelson. Remember those guys? They were the sons of Ricky Nelson, grandsons of Ozzy and Harriet. Wonder how they got a record contract. Definitely not because of their talent. Question number 5. What hairband gave us hit songs Down Boys, Heaven, and Cherry Pie? That was Warrant. Question number, the bonus question. Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, and Tommy Lee are the well-known members of Motley Crue, but for 2 points, what is the name of their longtime lead guitarist? That is Mick Mars. Mick Mars is the sickly-looking dude that plays guitar for Motley Crue. Looks like Alice Cooper's grandpa. and he looked like he was 100 years old in the 80s. Don't do drugs, kids. So once again, our answers for the hairband categories is New Jersey, Kickstart My Heart, Rat, Nelson, Warrant, and Mick Mars. So now I'm going to move on to round 4. This was an idea I came up with yesterday, where most of my best ideas are formed in the bathroom. This was during a shower. Somebody suggested they wanted a math round, so this is sort of a math round, but I've mixed it in with some pop culture references, pop culture math. And if this is something you guys like, we can do this a few times. Basically taking some numbers famous from pop culture and making word problems out of them, and you have to solve the problem. So let's do question number 1, and you'll get the gist of this round. Question 1, round 4. If you take the number of candles in a John Hughes movie and divide it by the members of the Beatles, what number do you get? If you take the number of candles in a John Hughes movie and divide it by the members of the Beatles, what number do you get? So you gotta know your pop culture and you gotta know your basic grade school math. There'll be no common core division in this round. None of that crap. None of us learned how to do it, and I'm not gonna start now. Question number 2. What number do you get when you add both numbers from the long-running news show hosted by Barbara Walters and multiply it by the length of David Letterman's nightly lists? What number do you get when you add both numbers from the long-running news show hosted by Barbara Walters and multiply it by the length of David Letterman's nightly lists? Question number 3. If you take the hit Fox action series starring Kiefer Sutherland and subtract the number of Fast and Furious movies, what number do you get? If you take the hit Fox action series starring Kiefer Sutherland and subtract the number of Fast and Furious movies, what number do you get? Question number 4. What number do you get when you take the number of KFC herbs and spices and add the number of tickets to paradise Eddie Money has? What number do you get when you take the number of KFC herbs and spices and add the number of tickets to paradise Eddie Money has? Question number 5. If you take the number of chambers on Wu-Tang Clan's debut album and divide it by the number of Stanley Cups the Chicago Blackhawks have won, what number do you get? If you take the number of chambers on Wu-Tang Clan's debut album and divide it by the number of Stanley Cups the Blackhawks have won in their history, what number do you get? And our bonus problem question, this one's worth 2 points because you got to do an extra step. What number do you get when you take the number of times Kim Kardashian has been married and subtract the number of outs in a baseball inning, then multiply that number by the degrees of separation? What number do you get when you take the number of times Kim Kardashian has been married, subtract that by the number of outs in a baseball inning, then multiply that number by the degrees of separation? What number are you left with? I'll go through these word problems again for you. Again, if this is something that you liked, we can do this multiple times. This was kind of fun to put together. Question 1. If you take the number of candles in a John Hughes movie and divide it by the members of the Beatles, what number do you get? Question 2. What number do you get when you add both numbers from the long-running news show hosted by Barbara Walters and then multiply it by the length of David Letterman's nightly lists? Number 3. If you take the hit Fox action series starring Kiefer Sutherland and subtract the number of Fast and Furious movies, what number do you get? Number 4, what number do you get when you take the number of KFC herbs and spices and add the number of tickets to Paradise Eddie Money has? Number 5, if you take the number of chambers on Wu-Tang Clan's debut album and divide it by the number of Stanley Cups the Chicago Blackhawks have won, what number do you get? And the bonus worth 2 points. What number do you get when you take the number of times Kim Kardashian has been married and subtract it by the number of outs in an inning, and then multiply that number by the degrees of separation? What number are you left with? I'll give you a couple moments here to finalize your answers for that round. All right, let's go through these answers for these pop culture math problems. Number 1, if you take the number of candles in a John Hughes movie and divide it by the members of the Beatles, what number do you get? That would be 16 candles divided by 4 members of the Beatles. 16 divided by 4 is 4. That is the number you should have. Question number 2, what number do you get when you add the numbers from the long-running news show hosted by Barbara Walters and multiply it by the length of David Letterman's nightly lists? You should have 400 should be your answer. 20 plus 20 is 40. Multiplied by 10 is 400. Number 3, if you take the Fox action series starring Kiefer Sutherland and subtract the number of Fast and Furious movies, what number do you have left? You should have 10. Of course, the Fox series starring Kiefer Sutherland, 24. There have been 14 Fast and Furious movies. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So 24 minus 10, or 24 minus 14 is 10. Number 4, what do you get when you take the number of KFC herbs and spices and add the number of tickets to paradise Eddie Money has? You should have 13. 11 herbs and spices plus 2 tickets to paradise equals 13. Number 5, if you take the number of chambers in Wu-Tang Clan's debut album and divide it by the number of Stanley Cups the Chicago Blackhawks have won, what number do you get? You get 6. There are 36 chambers for the Wu-Tang Clan, and the Blackhawks have won 6 Stanley Cups in their history. 36 divided by 6 is 6. And the bonus, bit of a trick question, so to speak. What number do you get when you take the number of times Kim Kardashian has been married, subtract the number of outs in a baseball inning, and then multiply that by the degrees of separation? You should have, if you did your math correctly, you should have 0 as your answer. Kim Kardashian's been married 3 times. You subtract the outs in a baseball inning, that's 3. That has 0. And there are 6 degrees of separation, but it really didn't matter what number you had for that because anything times 0 is always 0. So that is the final answer. Once again, those answers for this round are 4, 400, 10, 13, 6, and 0. 4, 400, 10, 13, 6, and 0. Well, 3 is a half inning, so arguing is futile. 3 up, 3 down, end of an inning. Sorry. Should have asked for clarification before the answer. So if you put 6, then you would have what, minus 18 as your answer for that last one? I don't know. The interwebs told me there are 14 Fast and Furious movies. I googled how many Fast and Furious movies are there. It told me 14. Google never lies. See, right there, it says 14. It's probably counting all those goofy spin-offs they have that fall under the franchise. That's what the Google machine told me. I'll let the Google machine. All right, if you guys do the poor wording of the question, if you have negative 18, you can go ahead and give yourself correct score. I'm standing by my 14 on the Fast and Furious because that's the answer. I don't know. They tell me 14. Somebody's lying to us. All right. Well, if you put down 8 and then you got a different answer, go ahead and give yourself credit for that one. No more Fast and Furious questions. Those movies all suck anyway, so I'm not even going to waste my time with it. So if you had what? If you put down 8, so if you had 16 for number 3, go ahead and give yourself the score, and 18, negative 18 on the bonus. That is, hey, I'm just telling you what Google told me, all right? Yell at Google. Hobbs and Shaw, it counts. It's under the Fast and Furious banner, just like Han Solo is a Star Wars movie. Argue with somebody who cares about Fast and Furious movies. That ain't me. So if you have 16 as number 3, go ahead and give it to yourself. If you have negative 18, I'll take the blame for that one because I didn't word it correctly. You can give yourself that one too. If you got complaints about Fast and Furious, yell at Google. They told me 14. I saw the number. I rolled with it. I didn't want to do any more research on a really shitty movie franchise. All right, enough of that. I will research my pop culture references better the next time we do that category. General trivia is our final round. There will be no Fast and Furious questions in this round or ever again. There is a Han Solo movie. It's called Solo. It's actually pretty good. All right, so general trivia. Number 1. According to the NFL, the official NFL shop, which player sold the most jerseys in 2018? According to official NFL shop, which player sold the most jerseys in 2018? Question number 2. Who was the original voice for Shaggy Rogers in the Scooby-Doo cartoons? Who was the original voice for Shaggy Rogers in the Scooby-Doo cartoons? Question number 3. What country was famous poet Oscar Wilde born in? What country was famous poet Oscar Wilde born in? Question number 4. The Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef, is located off which country? The Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef, is located off of what country? Question number 4. First Lady Nancy Reagan made a special guest appearance for an anti-drug episode of what sitcom in 1983? First Lady Nancy Reagan made a special guest appearance for an anti-drug episode of what sitcom in 1983? And all right, our bonus question, final question of the night. For 2 points, who was the only 20th century president to receive a PhD before being elected to office? For 2 points, who is the only 20th century president to receive a PhD before being elected to office? He was president during a very important time in our history. I'll read these questions again for you for general trivia. According to the official NFL shop, which player sold the most jerseys in 2018? Number 2, who was the original voice for Shaggy Rogers in the great Scooby-Doo cartoons? Question 3, what country was famous poet Oscar Wilde born in? Question number 4, the Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef, is located off of which country? Question 5, First Lady Nancy Reagan made a special guest appearance for an anti-drug episode of what sitcom in 1983? And the bonus question for 2 points, who was the only 20th century president to receive a PhD before being elected to office? Give you a few seconds to finalize your answers for the general trivia round. While we're doing that, I'll show the number 2 was who was the original voice for Shaggy Rogers in the Scooby-Doo cartoons? While you finalize those answers, once again, this is the information if you wanted to send a tip. Definitely not required, but for sure it is greatly appreciated. We're doing this every night until we can start getting together at Firewater Saloon in various locations to do this live again. I look forward to the day we can all get back together and do this in person. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like that day is going to be coming anytime soon. So we're just going to be stuck doing this every night until then. All right, our general trivia question answers. Number 1, according to the official NFL shop, which player sold the most jerseys in 2018? Some guy named Tom Brady. Tom Brady sold the most jerseys in question 18. Dina, the answer to your question, can you send me food? The answer to that will always be yes. It will always be yes. You don't even have to ask. Just send it along. I didn't get this sexy physique by not accepting all offers of food. Question number 2. Who was the original voice for Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo cartoons? Same guy that did the America's Top 40 forever on the radio. Legendary DJ Casey Kasem provided the voice of Shaggy originally. Casey Kasem. Question number 3. What country was famous poet Oscar Wilde born in? He was born in Ireland. Ireland. Question 4. The Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef, is located off of which country? It is located off the coast of Australia. First Lady Nancy Reagan made a special guest appearance for an anti-drug episode of what sitcom in 1983? That was Diff'rent Strokes. Diff'rent Strokes. What you talking about, Mrs. Reagan? And the bonus question for 2 points. Who was the only 20th century president to have a PhD before he was elected to office? That was the president that guided us through World War I, Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson. World War I, a very underrated war in history. Everybody, World War II is glamorized a lot with all those movies, but you rarely ever hear anything about World War I, and it was a pretty brutal war. Not as exciting, because it was basically just a bunch of guys sitting in the same front yard shooting at each other for days at end, but yes, so Woodrow Wilson is your bonus question answered. So those answers for the general trivia round again are Tom Brady, Casey Kasem, Ireland, Australia, Diff'rent Strokes, and Woodrow Wilson. So now if you put your final score on your sheet and take a picture of your score sheet and send it to me via Facebook Messenger. You can send it to either the Trivia Nights with Greg Facebook account that this video is running from, or you can send it to my personal account if we're friends on Facebook. It doesn't matter. They both get to the same place. I will see them on my iPad. So start sending me those pictures of your final. I will double check your answers and take down your scores, and then I will give you who our top 5 are for this evening. Start in, and I will see what we got here. All right. Team SD No D, I've got your score. Another higher score with the G not around. Maybe that's a theme. All right, Courtney, Rob, and Teresa, I have your score. Welcome back, gang. All right, Bad to the Bone, I've got your score. Seven-Year Itch, I have your score. Again, if you have any suggestions for future rounds, I got a few from some of you guys. Just feel free to send them to me via Messenger or post it on the Facebook wall. These nights are more for you guys than they are for me. So if there's specific categories you want me to cover, feel free to make a suggestion. I will gladly do what I can to throw those in for you. All right, Glowot gang, I have yours. Let me switch accounts here, get the rest of the scores. Alright, Grand Sarts, I have your score. Freddie, I have your score. And the Pratts, I have your score. Digging that hairband round, I see. switching categories here. All right, let's see here. T-Bone, I have your score. Rose Hose, I have your score. Quarantine, I have your score. All right, let's check one more. Let's check one more place. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right, Dina, I have your score. Dina and Nate, thanks for playing. All right. Let me just double check one thing here and I'll get our top 5 going. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 12 total score sheets turned in tonight. Missing a few of our regular players, but that's all right. Hopefully we'll see them again tomorrow. So out of our 12 teams playing, put together our top 5 here. Ooh, suggestion for a Letterkenny round. I am all for it. I can just sit here and read Letterkenny quotes for an hour and a half. That would be like a dream night. Let's see here. All right, there's 3rd place, 4th place. All right, here's our top 5 for tonight. Actually had a tie for 4th place with 32 points. We had the Glows group and friends from Cleveland. And you guys are tied with the Pratts. So the Glowatses and the Zupans tied with the Pratts for 4th place with 32 points. In 3rd place with 34 points, we have Freddie. Didn't forget you tonight. In 2nd place with 37 points, we had the trio of Courtney, Rob, and Teresa. You guys are in 2nd place with 37. And our winners again with 39 total points. Rose Hose, you guys came through with another victory. So congratulations on that. We are going to do this again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Don't forget to vote on tomorrow night's Player's Choice category. I'll throw that in here in a few minutes as we get ready for tomorrow night. Until then, don't forget to support your local restaurants and businesses that are still providing service if you can. And remember, please, for the love of God, stay home if you don't have to do one of your essential jobs. And take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Check in on your neighbors who may need some help. And we'll meet back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Thanks, everyone.